Hello everyone. Today's class we like to discuss VLSI design flow. So already we seen the fabrication steps. So this VLSI design flow. So here in this design process, two engineers work is involved in this process. So those are nothing but one is the front end engineer and another one is the back end engineer process. So what are the different steps involved in to implement a specific IC? So those steps we will see in detail one by one. Those are nothing but so first one is the design specification. The design specification. So the design specification is nothing but it is a guide to choose the right technology. So that technology includes internal block diagram for every subsection and the timing specifications. Those are nothing but setup, hold, propagation, delay timings, and the total gate count of the system, total cost of the circuit, and the input output threshold levels, and total power consumption of the circuit. So the design specification is nothing but so if you want to start anything, that means any project. So first of all, we have some idea about that design. That means, for example, considering a two-input AND gate. So that AND gate before implementation of the AND gate. So basically, we know the basic operation of the AND operation. That means what is the meaning of AND. So what type of inputs will be applied at the input of AND gate, and uh, so either it may be that inputs will be multiply or ORed. So what is the resultant will come when we are giving specific inputs to a specific gate. So those are the details we have some idea about the a specific circuit. That means the design specification that includes the overall all parameters or overall all considerations involved in the design. So that is to be implemented in detail like as a mathematical representation. So that is nothing but number of inputs and outputs in the design and number of bits in each of them and the number of bits used in the internal arithmetic operation and number of clock signals used in the design and the maximum clock frequencies to be used and what is the area of the chip and power dissipation of the chip. So these are the overall information involved in this specific design specification. That is nothing but it is a overview of the specific design. Overview of a specific design. That means when we want to buy something, for example, we want to buy a mobile phone. First of all, we have to decide as so and so configuration. That means so I want to buy some Realme or some Apple phone or some Oppo so and so. First of all, we have to decide some company. So after that, we have to decide so what is the futures of that mobile phone, what is the futures. So we didn't create we didn't manufacture that design, but we have some idea. So we have that much of front end camera and we have that much of megapixel back end camera. So in what way we are uh, thinking about a mobile device. So in the same way, while we are designing a specific circuit, so we have to start that design with design specifications. That means we have the overall idea about that design. That means that design specifications will includes internal block diagram for every subsection and what are the timings and specifications involved in that design That means what is the setup time and what is the hold time, what is the propagation delay in between from one input to another input, and what is meant by the total gate count of the system, and what is the total cost of the circuit, and input output threshold levels. So these are all details will be involved in the design specification. So after knowing this design specification, so second step to design or to make a specific IC is design entry. Design entry, second step is design entry. So this design entry, that user can enter a design with either two categories, or so the design may be implemented by using two types. Those are nothing but one is the schematic entry and another one is hardware description language. So in short form you can call it as HDL language, HDL language. So these uh, we have two options to manufacture or to design a specific IC under uh, within the design entry. So that is nothing. First one is the schematic entry. So what is meant by schematic entry means? So in this schematic entry, so it provides a graphical interface for the design entry. That means in semantic entry circuit, schematics are drawn on schematic sheets. That sheets are using graphical user interface. In short form, we can call it a GUI technology. And the schematic library is available, which consists symbol of basic gates and flip-flops that are termed as primitive cells. So the basic, so in schematic entry, we have some of this library. So like as uh, what way we are drawing a chart, or we are drawing a Mickey Mouse, like that. So we are designing, we are drawing a simple design. So that design, so we have some assumption. That means where is the legs will positioned, and where is the hands will position. So where is the eyes will position, and where is the mouse will position. So in the same way, in schematic entry also, we have some of the library schematic library. So in this semantic library, so that will consist some of the basic gates and the flip-flops. So those basic gates or flip-flops are called primitive cells of schematic entry. Primitive cells of schematic entry. So by using that semantic entry or symbols, so we have to uh, design, or we have to place different components within the schematic entry technology. So that schematic sheets are using a graphical user interface. Graphical user interface. So next one, we have another one is HDL. HDL. So we have two hardware description languages in HDL category. Those are nothing but first one is the VHDL, and the second one is the Verilog HDL. Verilog HDL. So in this HDL, it is a simple language, a simple VLSI language. So what is the full form of VHDL? Is very high speed integrated circuit hardware description language. So V stands for very high speed integrated circuit. That means in short form VHSIC, very high speed integrated circuit hardware description language. And the second one is Verilog HUD. So by using both of these languages, so by using these languages, so we have to describe digital hardware. So a digital design can be expressed either structurally or in data flow style or sequential behavior. So by using these languages, so we can design the circuits in any type of manner, in any type of manner. So in VHDL, we have different type of format, that is structural format and the data flow style and the sequential behavior. So already studied these concepts in your TST, and clearly we have to study when we are going to a master of technology as a specialization of VLSI. So there we have to detailed study what is how we have to write different code for structural format and data flow style and the sequential behavior. So in hardware description language, mainly we have to use two type of languages. One is the HDL and then another one is the Verilog HDL. Verilog, Verilog and the VHDL. So by using these languages, so we can describe or we can provide we can design any type of VLSI circuit, any type of VLSI circuit. So after design entry, so we have to do the functional simulation. So the simulation defines the overall logic checked before the user implements it in a device. So we have to checking so whether whatever we consider the specifications and we are entered those specifications in design entry. So whether the design entry specifications are working normally or not. So whether the functionality is working or not. So that checking we can call it as the simulation. So that is for schematic and HDL functional simulations is performed before design implementation to verify that the logic created is correct or not. That means, for example, we are designed a OR gate, but that will be the resultant or the whatever the instructions are programming in the programming language. We are using and 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 operation and operation values, so then that will be not give a proper or operation output. So then that will be the syntax or the semantics will show error. That will be show, that means the simulation result will show error. So if the simulation result show error, so we have to correct which type, where we have to did the wrong options or where we have entered the wrong options. So that will be checked by using a proper simulation procedure, by using a simulation procedure. Hmm. That is about functional simulation. So after that we have planning and the placement and the routing. So here we have to do some of the synthesis and system partitioning. So synthesis is nothing but we have to verify the netlist of the logic cells and their interconnections, and in what way we are described in detail in the netlist. So after that we have to do planning and the placement and the routing. So this is the one of the part in the VLSI design or layout phase. So this is the process to determine the physical location of devices and make interconnection between them inside the boundary of VLSI chip. So wherever we have see in this diagram, so we have different sub blocks within the design. So the sub blocks will be named as B, A, C, D, E, F, G, so and so. So that will be in placement means we are arranging proper position within the design. That means all the logic blocks are present in a design, so assigned to a specific location. So assigned to a specific locations. That means in what way we are arranging our things in a cupboard or uh, in a proper uh, arrangement. We are arranging those things like as in our home. In the same way, we are placing some of the logic blocks. That logic blocks will be assigned to a specific location. So that specific location we can call it as placement of that logic block. Placement of logic block. So after that, routing is nothing but we have to provide some of the interconnections from one logic block to another logic block. So when we are seeing in this diagram, so routing diagram, so we are connect from one logic block to another logic block. That means A is connected to B and E, and E is connected to D. So these are all will be interconnected with a specific arrangement, So that type of interconnections we can call it as routing of the design. So next one, simulation. That we have different type of simulations, that is timing simulations and the post layout simulation and the physical verification and the floor planning. So this floor planning is nothing but we are estimates the required chip area, and it is also responsible for to perform the improvements of the design, So in this timing simulation, so it will be done in functional simulation. So this logical correctness of the design is verified. But after design is fitted into the chip, net delays and gate delays come into account. So the net delays are encountered by a signal for traveling from output of one gate to the input of another gate. So these gate delays are delays from the input of the one gate to the output of the same gate due to propagation time of the gate. So the timing simulation is done with the clock speed as per mentioned in design specification. That means it is used for verify a circuit or logic cells through some of the software program. So here we have to check whether the propagation delays of logic cells and interconnection uh, delays are taken into account and will be considered. So these are all will be uh, taken into the account, and we have to calculate the all delays, and we have to rectify all the blocks, sub blocks involved in the design. So we have to verify that sub blocks functionality in a step by step manner, so that is gives that is will be related to the timing specifications of both the circles. Those are nothing but the setup and the hold and the propagation delay timings of the design. So yeah, finally we have to fabricate that entire steps into chips. So there are we have to use two different VLSI design style uh, to manufacture or to maintain a fabrication. So before submitting the design for fabrication, the input and output pads or terminals should be included in the design, and its connectivity should be verified. So before going to fabrication, so we have to check all the input and output terminals, so that should be included in the design. So without we are giving, for example, you can consider so we are using so many ICs in our laboratory. So if the ICs doesn't have input and output pins, so if we are properly designed that circuit, but the designing of the circuit is entirely so waste of the time. That means so if we are providing proper inputs and output connections properly, so then only that use of the device will be taken into account taken into account. So that is the main thing. So before going to fabrication, so we have to check all the inputs and outputs. That means input output terminals that should be included in the design, and its connectivity should be verified, so that are properly connected to uh, connected within the design are working, and working they are the input and output pins are properly working or not. So that will be also coming into the some of the functional verification of the design. So here we have to fabricate the chip in two ways. One is the full custom and another one is the semi custom. So in full custom design, these chips are used for ASICs, that means application specific integrated circuits, so which are designed to specific application. So in full custom we have to use a specific application specific integrated circuit, so which are designed to a specific application. So for specific applications, so we have to use for a full custom manner. And the semi custom design are divided into major classes. Those are nothing but cell based design and array based design. So this cell based design uses library of pre designed cells, so in which yeah, these are placed and wired to complete the design. And array-based design uses prefabricated matrix of non-connected components. Non-connected component. So for to design a specific functionality, for example, we are designing flip-flop, a specific flip-flop, so that involve a specific technology. That means that involves a specific operation. So at the time we have to use a full custom. So in case if your design having both the combination and sequential logic operations, so at the times that means combination and sequential means, so the design may have both the adders and multipliers and some of the resistors and some of the ALUs. So at the time we have to go for semi-custom design process, semi-custom design process. So by using those process, finally we have to fabricate a desired chip, under VLSI technology, So that is about VLSI design flow. So these are the steps involved in we have to design a specific circuit. So for this designs, we have different mass layers. That is, mass circuits are formed on mainly 4 basic layers. So whatever we are designing, that is fabricating. We are fabricating different type of mass transistors. That is N-type mass transistor and the P-type mass transistor and CMOS transistor. So those transistors mainly have different type of mainly those have mainly 4 basic layers. Those are nothing but N diffusion and the P diffusion and the polysilicon and the metal. So these are the different layers involved in the mass devices. So these layers are isolated by one another by thick or thin silicon dioxide insulating layer. So whatever we are designing, either it may be NMOS transistor or PMOS transistor. So while in this we have to use both the diffusion and the polysilicon metal. So those are isolated from one layer to another layer, so that those are isolated with help of silicon dioxide insulating layers. So this thin oxide mask region includes N diffusion or P diffusion and transistor channel. So we have for this we have VDD and VSS, and the ground should be distributed on metal layers wherever possible and should not depart from the metal aspect for uh, duck unders, preferably on the diffusion layer when this is absolutely essential. So a consideration of uh, RS values will be revealed the reason for this. So here we have to see VDD and VSS terminals. So that will be implemented or designed with help of the metal layers. So these long lengths of polysilicon should be used only after careful considerations because of the relatively high value of the polysilicon layer. So with these restrictions in mind, it is generally the case that our resistance associated with transistor much higher than any reasonable wiring resistance, so that there is no real danger of any problem due to the voltage divider effects between wiring and transistor resistance. So while we are combining both the layers, so we have to avoid that wiring resistance and also there is any problem related with the voltage divide effects between wiring and transistor resistance. So for this we are using different layers to manufacture the MOS devices. So the capacitive effects. So already we seen different capacitors are formed while we are designing the MOS transistor. So because of for every layer, so that will be isolated with dioxide material. So that the silicon dioxide material and the layer that will be forms like as a two parallel plate capacitor. So due to that parallel plate capacitor, that will be introduced different capacitors. That means gate capacitance and the parasitic capacitance, and in between the drain source capacitance. So these are capacitances will form. So to that, whenever we minimize that capacitances, so that will reduces the delay. So this is about today's class. So we have seen what is meant by VLSI design flow and different approaches used in different approaches or different performance factors we have to use it in VLSI design flow. That is nothing but one is the full custom, and another one is semi-custom process. So while we are fabricating the VLSI chip for any type of technology. So next class we will see the stick diagrams and the layouts. So in next class, we will discuss what is meant by stick diagram and what are the rules are involved in stick diagrams and the layout diagrams. We will discuss in next class.